Hey FlossTube, I'm Jules. Welcome back. Thanks for coming along. Whoa, I move in the rocking chair and I've got everything attached to it and everything around me kind of moves. It's very strange, very strange. It is October 18th, Wednesday night, and this is my weekly update. Thanks to all those folks who watched the Stitch Along this past weekend that I put out, where I worked on pluribus unum. Yes, I did. And then, was that what I did? Yeah, that's what I did. I'm sorry. And then I worked on it, and then I went back and I frogged some of it, and then I did some more work on it. So I'll show you guys where I ended up with that. But that was fun, and I'm thinking about what I want to do this coming weekend, but we'll see. Didn't get a ton of stitching done this week. That's a disappointing statement right off the bat, but didn't feel like it. You know, go through certain weeks where you just don't. I was pretty tired this past week for some unknown reason. You know, some weeks just don't feel very good, and we were a little busier here and there. I went to the theater on Saturday night, which we hadn't been in quite a while, and because they were doing a rendition of Macbeth, and I really like Shakespeare, and I definitely wanted to. We hadn't been in a while, so I thought, let's go see Macbeth because that'll be awesome. And it was a very strange interpretation of Macbeth. It was sort of the it was an all-guy production, which is how all of Shakespeare's plays were originally put on. They didn't have any women playing the female roles, and that was fine. But and you know, it's authentic. But what was weird was just the guys were very scantily clad, and the music was loud and pounding, which normally you don't talk about music in Macbeth, but loud and pounding, kind of like club music, like to set up certain scenes and stuff. And it was just weird. It was so weird that my husband and I actually got up at intermission and went home, which we've never done. But we were just not that into it. It takes a while to get into Shakespeare, to like listen and like finally get your head hearing the Shakespeare and knowing what you're listening to. But we just couldn't. Everything else was too distracting. You know, they were when they were doing their fighting scenes, it was all this play fighting where they would, like, you know, go to hit somebody and they'd be 2 feet away and the person would be like, oh, you know, and it was just, you know, when you have the urge to laugh in the first 5 minutes of a play uncontrollably at something that's not supposed to be funny, does not bode well for the rest of the play. But I'm sure there was a lot of people that I'm sure stayed and probably really, really enjoyed it, and it just wasn't for us. So, but we did that. There was a lot of football, there's been some hockey, and so yeah, it's just been kind of weird and whatnot. So I've just been kind of out of it in general. But last night I was trying to stitch. I was downstairs and sitting we have this big long table that my husband and I both have our computers set up on, and we were side by side, and I pulled out Rainey Waterloo place and I did a little bit of stitching on it, and I got up at one point to go get something to drink or whatever, and came, sat back down, and I'm like, where's my needle? Like, I have a huge needle. Like, I literally well, I had it here a second ago. See, I lost it again. I think it was like a needle, like it was a really big needle. Can you guys see how big that needle is? I mean, it was huge, right? I was using it for a 14 count piece, so it was a huge needle, had a long piece of thread on it, and I'm like, where is it? Because I'm about to step on it, or one of the dogs supposed to step on it. Did it stick to my clothing and now it's in the kitchen somewhere? I didn't know, and I'm still looking, and finally I'm like, all right, I just got another needle, and I start stitching and I'm doing everything, and then a few minutes go by, and I suddenly realized I found my needle and my thread, and it was in my glass. It was actually in my glass of soda that I had gotten, and it was just sitting right on top, or all the stuff. And I've been taking sips out of that thing, and somehow managed to not swallow the needle. So should have bought a lottery ticket yesterday, because I was lucky. But yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. No, it wasn't. But that's just, I lose needles left and right. But so yeah, so I haven't really felt like doing a whole lot of stitching. I did most of my stitching last week, like Friday and then Saturday for the stitch along and whatnot. And then I just haven't been in the mood. So, oh, my light just went off. My light just went off. I may have to reach over there and hold on guys, let me turn this back on if I can. All right, woo! Didn't realize there was a timer on it. I want to show this to you guys because I think this is a cool light that some of y'all would like. I'm going to turn it off. I think I've showed it to you before, but I really like the idea of this light as a travel piece. It's just this little ring. It looks very weird, but it has a little hinge opening here, and you just attach it onto something. So you could be in a car with someone, you're in the passenger seat, hopefully not driving and stitching. We don't approve that. But you put this on the shade thing. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, you put that up there. So you put it up there, and then all this is it just has a little light, and then it's got like 3 different levels of brightness, and it charges. It's got a little charger that it comes with, and you can recharge it. It's just a little LED light. Doesn't get hot or anything. I use it to help with the lighting for the video, but you guys could use it to help you stitch. So I'm gonna put this back because that might help us see the situation more clearly. But I didn't realize this was on a timer, so another reason to talk faster. That video last week was ridiculously too long. Even I would admit that was ridiculously too long, and I'm sorry for that. And the ones who sat through the whole thing, you guys are awesome. And thank you for the comments and the new subscribers. Thanks for coming along. The light went out again. You know what? It probably needs to be charged. We're going to just push on through because I think you guys can still see me. I can see me just fine. Looking at the camera, looking at the light. I'll be fine. It's okay. But thank you guys to all the people who've been subscribing. I love answering the comments. I do. It's it's carrying on this rolling conversation from video to video. And you guys have suggested things for me that are awesome in terms of projects or just all kinds of other things, and it's been fantastic. So, anyway, still tired. So let's just start by showing you kind of what I have been working on. I only worked a little bit on Ronnie Row, but I'll show you where I got. Oh man, this thing is so pretty. Mr. Row, you are a genius. So we're going to look here. And, I mean, literally, it's just, I did a little bit right up here. The next little part of that window's right there. So it looks great from far away, doesn't it? That's just ridiculous. I mean, anyway, every single video I talk about how amazing the design is, but I do feel that way. Let me go ahead and show you Prayer of St. Francis, because I did get some more work done on it. But man, I'll tell you what, if there's one project that I have to frog because I'm always making mistakes, it's this one. I don't know why, but it's like, I swear, every time I stitch, 20 minutes are easily spent redoing something that I've already done. But let's show you what it looks like. So getting there. You can see how close I'm getting. Basically this week I just filled in more in over here. So, whoop, I just buckled down. I'm gonna get this done real soon. And my mama's coming out to visit in December, so she's gonna get to see this when she comes out. Maybe I can convince her to be in the video. She's not going to want to, but I might have to make her. I can make her. I'm bigger than she is. I can make her. Love you, Mom. All right, so let's show you E pluribus unum. I'm going to actually pull down the pattern first. I'm going to show you guys what the pattern looks like. So let's try not to get glare. There we go. So I'm going to show you a couple things about this pattern that I realized as I went further into it, what was going on. So we can see the 2-0 and the 1-2 there. And that, I think that just is, it might be the year that this was done. But obviously you don't have to do 2012 because it makes no sense to do 2012 unless 2012 is very meaningful for you in some way. But they actually give you, the artist, the designer gave a sampler kit of letters and numbers. So you can substitute out anything you want to on this. And so what I have done, and I'll show you in a minute, but instead of 2012, I'm going to put 1776 because that seems more appropriate. And then the B and the T are the initials of the author. And what I'd like to do is just put US for United States. I think that would look really cool and be kind of non-personalized, but in a classy way, I hope. But so let me show you how far I got, because I think when I did the stitch along, I got so far and then I had to backtrack. So I've only gotten a little ways. I jumped over here and got this done, and then you see I've got the 1/7 done right here. So so that actually took a little bit of time, because I just had to make sure that I put, the cool thing is that her numbers and her letters are the same dimensions. So you can plug them in. You just got to make sure that you plug them in correctly. But so anyway, that's the size of the fabric. I don't think I gave myself, I think I gave myself not enough room over here. I could probably come down further, but I'm always a weenie when it comes to that stuff. But that is E Pluribus Unum by Heartstrings Samplery, and she has an Etsy store, and I'll put a link down below. But currently the Etsy store is experiencing some computer issues. Her particular one, I think she's got her computer in the shop right now getting fixed because something happened to it. So her shop is temporarily down because she's unable to fulfill orders. But there's a lot of really great stuff on this shop that she has. So I'll put the link down below, and if you like her stuff, bookmark it and check it out some other time. All right, was that what I was? Okay, yeah, there we go. Let's see. Okay, the football piece, I did a little bit of work on it, and this is gonna look weird, folks. Actually, I want to see what it looks like when I pull back and take a look, because I got the Pilgrim's hat done, and I started working on his face, and I'm like, his face looks a little weird, but I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, I kept working on it, and I'm like, this looks a little strange. Let me pull it back and see. Well, that's not too terrible. It's not too terrible. So you can kind of see I got a little bit further, and basically I just finished filling in the hat, and then again I started working on his face. So that's the Pilgrim part of the Thanksgiving Day Saturday Evening Post. Does that have a stain on it? Probably does. Probably soda. No, it's not pee. It's soda. I have a lot of dogs and a cat, so you never know what you're going to get. Just like Forrest Gump said. All right, I'm going to show you Rainey Waterloo Place. I'm not going to take it out of the... it's really not worth taking it out of the thing. I think I'm going to work on some of this tonight, so I'm going to keep it in the hoop. In the hoop. Right there. There we go. So I just got a little bit more done up here. I mean, really, it's hardly even worth showing, but I wanted to show it so I can force myself to get in there and get more work done on it. And then the last one that I'm going to show you, and it's not the last one that I have, and I'll get to that in a second, but the last one that I'm going to show you is God Save the Queen. If you're on Instagram, and I'm on Instagram under Stitching Jewels, if you're interested, because periodically I'll put a picture up of one of my projects, like if I've worked on it that day and I got a lot done, put a picture up for it. But I definitely made some good progress with God Save the Queen this week, and this is such a pretty pattern. So there we go. God Save the Queen. So I've almost got the entire bead done at this point. There is a little more yellow and a little bit more black down here. I got to finish the legs over here. And then there's the flower part. It's pretty much almost down to the bottom over here. It's got to finish it. And then there's really not a whole lot to go on this. And I put a lot of time into this one this week and really made some serious progress. And I think this is a 32 count stuff. It's so fun to stitch on. Just so fun. Oh. Anyway, so that's, and so what I can't show you, and I can't show you because I can't find it, of course, is the piece that I'm doing for my husband's parents, which is Dogs Leave Paw Prints. So it's this one. And I actually pulled it out over the weekend and got started on it. And what I got done was just basically I got this top motif done up here, and then I got like the D and the O done, and that was about it. I love the fabric. The fabric is a, what did I get? 32 count Jobelin lamb's wool. And so I you know, it's really, for a 32 count piece, it is really nice to stitch on. So I can understand now. I think I can understand why I hear Jovelin used so much in different cross stitch designs. But anyway, it's beautiful. I just gotta find it. It's just in, you know, it's just in here in my stuff somewhere, so it's not that big of a deal. Couple other stitching bits and bobs. Oh yeah, there's a couple things that I got recently that I wanted to show you guys, little accessories for me when I stitch. And the first one is just this little light right here. Can you guys see this light? You can also see the mess that I have behind me. I'm gonna take the light off. Hold on, don't get sick. Don't get sick from the craziness. Don't you fall over. Let me just unhook it here. So this is an LED light that kind of is a telescoping light. Not telescoping, just very flexible light. And I use it actually in my stitch-alongs because I put it like up and over like this so it comes down, but you could literally put it anywhere. It's pretty much a stainless steel, but the tube can bend in all different ways, so it can be it's very adjustable, and it's got these little incredibly strong alligator clamp here to work with. And then back here we've got two sets of lights. So we got, whoop, that's on and off, and then there's this one which is super on, and then regular on, and then you can turn it off. And so it's another one of those. It's LED, so it doesn't get hot, and it's really, really cool. And I'll put a link to it at the bottom, underneath, so you guys can see if you want to get it, because it was super cheap. It was really nice. So in case you want to stitch in tiny little places and only have a little light, this works great. Oh yeah, and then finally, I finally got one of these. This chair that I'm sitting in is honestly, I've broken this thing down. I've had it for like 4 or 5 years, and this was my original stitchy chair, and I have spent hundreds of hours in this chair stitching. So much so that I've worn out the back support on it. So I got a little back support this week, came in for it. It's about that shape and whatnot, and so it's got a little thing here, so it probably you could theoretically use it if it would fit around, like, I don't know, car seat maybe? Not car seat, like little babies need back support, or something, you know, I don't know. It's got a couple different handles. I didn't read directions. Who's going to read directions for a thing like this? It's got a little handle here. It's adorable. But the best part about it is that I put it back here, and I finally have back support. And the first night that I used it, my back like went into spasms because it's so used to not having that support. And having that support freaked it out. Didn't know what to do. So, yeah, it was crazy. And then finally, I almost forgot to show you my t-shirt. All right, I'm gonna just lean over here. Oops, sorry, more mess. Sorry. I may look like I'm listening to you, but in my head I'm thinking about cross stitch. Sorry, I'm not really set up to stand up right now. I'm sore. I'm old. I'm sore. But anyway, so that's another fun t-shirt. I'm working on my t-shirts for my Cafe Press store. I still need to keep working on them. I got one in and it looks good, but the design, I just got to keep hammering out the design. So I just haven't done a lot of work on that in the last week either. What have I been doing? Nothing. One last story. Y'all know about my fish. And I've been talking for a little bit about needing to get some snails, because I had a snail that committed suicide. I told you about that, right? Did I tell you about that? I had a snail that was in the tank, the little tank I have with the betta. It's like about a 2-gallon tank, maybe 3-gallon tank. And it did a great job, and then one day went missing, and kept, and I'd look for it, and I just think, oh, must be behind the rock or different things, I'm not paying too much attention to it. And the tank started getting more algae and more algae. And I'm like, where is this thing? And finally I found him on the outside of the tank. He had crawled up and outside. And that would have been really hard because the lid has an opening like in the center of it. So he would have had to gone a long way out of the water. So he really wanted to die, I think. I'm not sure if the betta was just making fun of him or what was going on. But anyway, so got some new snails. and they're doing a really good job. But the real story is I have a bigger tank that's like about 20 gallons. I have a lot of fish in there, and I have some plants in there, some live plants, and I put in this mystery snail. And I don't know why they call them mystery snails. I could look it up, but I haven't done it yet. But they're called mystery snails. And when I got the snail, and I've told you guys this before, when I got the snail was like about that big, and now it's like about that big. I mean, it's huge. But, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's booking around the booking around the tank, cleaning up the algae and everything. But, you know, he's only one snail. And you know, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up in that tank. So, went ahead and got another snail, put it in the tank, and it's been a very weird week with the new snail in the tank. It's been high drama, almost like a soap opera going on in that tank. It took a while for us to figure out what was going on, because like within 30 minutes, I kid you not, 30 minutes of putting the new snail, letting the new snail go down into the tank and letting them get in there, come back 30 minutes later, and I have this like decoration in the middle of the tank that looks like a tree person in the front. Anyway, it's a decoration. It has like a little space underneath of it where the gravel is and whatnot. And those two snails were like, underneath that decoration. I mean, you could not. I was like, is that second snail there? Because I see the first snail because he's so huge, but where's the second snail? And it's like he's right in there, and I'm like, okay, what did I do? I'm like, did the snail attack the other snail? Do snails attack? What is he doing? And my husband and I kept looking at him and kept talking about it. And they were locked up like that for like easily 24 hours. Minimum 24 hours. And then they finally separated. And the smaller snail kind of sort of sat there for quite a while. The big snail went off, did its thing. Like 12 hours later, came home from work or whatever. Locked back up again. Then I'm starting to think. Sometimes I can be a little dense in the head. I was like, are they making snail babies? Is that what's going on down there? And if you look it up, like if you look it up on YouTube and whatnot, you really can't find a whole lot out there on what it looks like when they're making babies. So I might have a lot of baby snails coming up, and that would be cool because, man, I need a lot of cleanup. But it's been very strange. And in the last 24 hours, the snails have separated, and they have gone off to their respective ends of the tank and are taking care of their stuff. What I don't understand is how are they meeting in the same spot? I mean, do they have a routine? Do they have a patrol? I don't know. I don't know how they do it, and I don't know how they found each other, and I don't know how they found each other so quickly. But I'll keep you updated on what's going on there. That will be very interesting. And then I have the other tank, which is more of a 29-gallon tank, and I have some King Kong parrotfish in there. And we put two snails in there, two smaller snails in there. One snail was like an orange shell, and the other one was more of a brown shell. And the gravel is of a mix of different dark colors because the fish are very bright orange. So the orange snail is doing great. You know, I can see it moving around doing its thing and whatnot. I don't know where the brown snail is. I can't find him. He's camouflaged, but I also can't find him. I'm a little worried that when I wasn't watching, that the parrotfish buried him with the gravel, because the parrotfish have been digging out holes in different areas of the tank, and they push the gravel up on one side, and they dig this big cavernous area, and I'm wondering if they buried him. I wouldn't put it past them. They're mean little buggers, and they're vindictive in some ways, and so but we'll see. But anyway, so those are my stories, and I'm sticking to them. Purposely making this video shorter today because I don't need to go on and on when I really haven't gotten a lot done this week. I do have a plan to kind of get going. I've got all day tomorrow off, and I think I will get back to work on things. But, if you don't feel like stitching, don't stitch. Just stitch when you want to have fun and stitch. Yeah, that'd be a great design for a t-shirt. Just stitch when you want to have fun, then stitch. Rah. Okay, anyway, I got things to do, guys. One of them is stitching, so take care. I'll talk to you next week. Stitch along this week. Trying to figure out which one I should do that I haven't done already. Maybe I'll do the football piece. Yeah, let's do the football piece this week. We'll do the football piece and try and figure out what that face is going to turn into, and see if it shows itself a little bit more. We'll see. Take care. Happy stitching. Be safe. And I'll talk to you guys soon.